Welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Nick, also known as the IPP guy, and this is the IPP Education Hub. In today's video, we're going to be talking about what is an IPP. So that way, if you are considering the IPP treatment, or if you are partnering somebody who is considering it for themselves, this will give you some answers that I hope will help you better determine whether or not it's a solution for you. I'm going to do my best to leave as much medical jargon out of this channel as possible, but I think it's important to first define the IPP as an inflatable penile prosthesis. In other words, it's a penile implant. And this is to be considered as the one solution for those who are suffering ED, that you no longer have to worry about pills or injections. There are a couple different versions of penile implants, but when it comes to the inflatable penile prosthesis, you're looking at a three-part device. Inside of the penis is two tunnels that run down the anatomy. Now, when a man is aroused, those tunnels will fill with blood, and this is what causes an erection. However, for many men, those tunnels may or may not fill properly, and therefore they cannot get the rigid erections that they need for penetrative sex. With an IPP, the first part of the device actually goes down those two tunnels. I like to think of them as really strong balloons, but your medical professional will probably tell you that there's a better definition for that. But these two balloons now go inside the shaft of your penis, and these are very durable, they're reliable. Somebody can put in the comments whether or not this is true, but I believe that they are bulletproof, if I understand correctly. Now, these two balloons that are running down the shaft of your anatomy, they are connected to a reservoir that is inside of your body. It's pretty amazing when you think about the technology that's happening here. This reservoir is inside of your body, located next to your bladder, and that is filled with saline. Now, as that saline device then runs down to another tube that is hidden in the pump that is in your scrotum, hidden behind your testicles. To inflate the IPP, you then will pump the pump that's in your scrotum. It usually just takes a couple hands. You don't have to pump the whole thing. Usually just a couple fingers, and you pump it up. And as you're pumping it up, it goes to that reservoir, and that reservoir pumps the saline out to those two cylinder balloons that I mentioned. And as you're pumping it, it gets more rigid and hard, and it fills up the shaft of your penis to where you're able to get an erect penis. Once completed and you want to deflate the device, that same pump that's in your scrotum, there will be a lever that allows you to deflate the device. I personally have the Coloplast Titan One Touch, and so you just press this little lever over here and that dispenses the saline from the two balloons that are running down your shaft back into the reservoir where the saline goes. This three-piece device allows you to deflate and inflate the implant that is actually now inside of your penis. It's important to know that the entire device is internal. There's nothing on the outside, and nobody will even know that you have an IPP. It's pretty amazing to know that this device is inside of you and working and allowing you to get full, rigid erections without anybody even knowing. Now that you know how the IPP works, you might be asking yourself why some people are choosing this as a treatment option. And at the end of the day, you probably have noticed an influx in TV and radio commercials for male supplements that allow them to help with intimacy. But the truth is that a lot of these pills don't work, and they also come with really bad side effects. They can result in headaches, sinus issues, bloody stool, mood changes, all of these elements that will truly affect your ability to have an intimate experience. And when the pills don't work, well, that's when you have to step it up to the injections. And I'm going to talk about those in another video, but needless to say, those didn't work for me, and that's why I moved on to the IPP as the best option for myself. With an IPP, you're no longer worried about if you're taking a pill at the right time, or if somebody's going to interrupt you, or if the pill will even work without giving you all of those side effects that I previously mentioned. And if you're somebody who's taking something called Bimex or Trimex, that injectable I referred to, you're no longer going to need that either. No more syringes, no more injecting yourself in the penis, and no more wondering if it's going to provide the sort of response and reaction that you're hoping for. The option to have a penile implant for men is sort of a newish technology, but it's something that is increasing in popularity. And so I hope that today you learn more about what an IPP actually is, how it is implanted inside of the body, and the fact that you don't have to worry about people knowing that you have one. In more videos in the future, I'll talk about some ways that you can talk with your partner about having your IPP, or how you can go about being somewhat discreet while pumping it and deflating it. But it's important to know that when you have your IPP, it's not something that's visible, it's fully internal. And if you have been taking the pills, if you've been taking the injectables, and those aren't working for you anymore, and you're looking for one option that will help you with ED moving forward, as it did for me, then the IPP is a way to go. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something here today. And as always, if you want more information on IPP, be sure to turn on your notifications and subscribe to the IPP Education Hub. I will continue to make content that I hope helps you with your IPP journey. As always, be kind to yourself and be kind to others.